Well, hello everyone. This is the Roomba i3 Evo, and spoiler alert, it's a great product but does have a couple notable flaws. I bought this particular robot vacuum over the cheaper Roomba 600 series due to a claim of increased suction, all rubber brushes, the ability to target specific rooms, and the fact that should I want to purchase the automatic dirt disposal base in the future, the i3 is compatible. It does ship in nice retail quality packaging with Apple-like simplicity. If we take a look inside the box, we see that alongside the robot, we've got a power cord, a charging base, some instructions, and would you look at this, an extra air filter. I think that's a nice touch as it's likely the first thing on the unit you'll need to replace. The overall design is clean and modern with just a couple of buttons on the top in addition to the small homing sensor, so it shouldn't look too utilitarian sitting in the middle of your living room. Alright, so before I get this set up, I did just want to take a minute to talk about build quality, and overall it feels excellent. A couple of years ago I did a review on a Shark robot vacuum, and I kind of said at the time I liked it, but it did feel like it played jump rope with that gimmick slash useful line. This, on the other hand, feels like it's like an actual tool. Like just the weight of it, the dampening on the little bump sensor here. We turn it over, the spring tension on the wheels, even the fact that the wheels are rubber and not hard plastic. A little bit of dampening on that when you spin it. Just overall, compared to the Shark I reviewed a couple of years ago, maybe things have changed from that manufacturer since, but this just feels like a much more professional product. To wake the unit, simply drop it in the charger. A pulsing white ring light will let you know it's alive. So, how does it work? Alright, so honestly, most of the operation of the Roomba i3 is done via the app or even via voice control. There are a couple little things on the front you can do. We have this button that's a picture of a home, which pretty much does exactly what it says when it's not cleaning. Hit the home button and it find its way. This big clean button will initiate a clean cycle. And then this button on the right, which is probably the least descriptive of all, it just looks like a spot. And that's what it does. It's a spot cleaner. So you put it somewhere that's particularly dirty, hit that button, and it spirals out into a 3-foot diameter cleaning circle. So I don't anticipate ever really needing that function, but you know what? Let's give it a try anyway. All right, so right here, I've just taken some random dirt out of my upright vacuum cleaner's dustbin, sprinkled it on the floor, and yeah, let's put the Roomba in the middle of it and see what happens. All right, that's a pretty funny little function. I can't imagine ever using that as opposed to just grabbing a cordless stick vac and cleaning up small messes, but it's there if you need it. Of course, the vast majority of time we'll be using the Roomba i3 for routine everyday cleaning. To most effectively set that up, we'll employ the app. Setup here was challenging. Normally, connecting a smart device goes like this. Download an app, register if necessary, temporarily connect to the smart device's ad hoc Wi-Fi network, transfer your personal Wi-Fi credentials, and then you're off and running. And theoretically, that's how this works as well. However, after 3 unsuccessful attempts, all being met with the same unable to connect message, I turned to the internet for a solution. As it turns out, my experience is not all that uncommon, with many forum threads referencing the same problem. I did eventually find a solution buried deep within my router settings. I had to enable the option allowing those on the guest network to talk to one another. After checking that and rebooting, I was able to get everything connected. So now it's time to start a job and let it begin mapping my living room. Of course, you could forego the app altogether and just hit the clean button on top to accomplish the same thing. However, as it turns out, my favorite way to get my little automated assistant to do my dirty work is to simply say, "Alexa, tell Roomba to start cleaning."
Okay, I'll tell Roomba to start vacuuming.
Once it gets going, I'm happy to report that it does follow a relatively logical cleaning path. It will run parallel lines until it hits something and then attempt to map the new area. This is actually a very big improvement over my previous robot vacuum, which would simply bounce off of things randomly until it inevitably ran out of power. That said, it's not perfect and does have a tendency to get caught up on odd items, like these chair legs. You'll eventually get a feel for what will trip it up and move things accordingly. After watching it for a few days, I simply learned to move shoes, power cords, and turn up chairs before a cleaning session. When all is said and done, the room is clean, it runs out of battery, or the dustbin fills up, it will find its way home and notify you if there's anything preventing it from starting its next cleaning job. For the most part, the only day-to-day maintenance is emptying it. To do so, press the big button on the rear of the unit to release the bin, carry it over to your trash can, and press the small button to release the dirt. And then just snap it back into place. As far as noise goes, I wouldn't exactly call it whisper quiet, but it's not loud either. To quantify this, I've got my decibel meter set up. While running and sucking, it's registering about 67 at approximately 5 feet. By comparison, my Dyson V6 cordless runs about 70 decibels, so it's only slightly quieter than a stick vac. In practice, I would find it distracting if I were trying to have a conversation in the same room or was hungover, but working in an adjacent room with the door closed solves the problem. Alright guys, another reason I kind of like buying a brand name product from a big company like this is things like replacement parts and maintenance items are very easy to come by. Pretty much everything in here is designed for ease of maintenance, and they even have inside the app a little maintenance and replacement schedule. Obviously it's ultimately up to you how much you stick to it. So basically they say the filter, which is located in here in the dustbin, clean every 1 to 2 weeks, replace every 2 months. The edge sweeping brush here, which looks like it has just a little Phillips to remove, they just say clean every month and replace as needed. These brushes, which I'm also happy to say are on Amazon, as are all these things, both from iRobot and from third-party companies. This is clean every 1 to 2 weeks, replace every 6 to 12 months. Oh, also, while I'm showing you guys this down here, what I really like, and one of the reasons I kind of went with the rubber brushes here, is I assumed that they wouldn't get so clogged and tangled up with hair like the bristle brushes, and so far that seems to be the case. This front wheel here, they say clean every 2 weeks, replace every 12 months. And then the sensors, which are just kind of located at various places here, they just say clean every 2 weeks. So they do make maintenance pretty easy. Alright guys, one final thing I want to talk to you guys about is scheduling. It's one of the greatest functions of having a smart robot. Very easy inside the app, just type schedule, create schedule. And it's pretty straightforward from in here. Start 9 a.m. I might just say, let's do it when people are guaranteed to not be awake. So let's run at 4 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And call that a schedule. So there we go. All right, you can also do like an automation type thing. If you click over from time to automation, start when I leave home, for example. I don't think I'm going to use that. That's maybe giving the cloud a little too much information about my life. You basically have to give it location services or connect it to other devices that monitor your comings and goings. So I think for now, I'll just ignore that. And I'm probably just going to keep it on that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 a.m. schedule. So overall, I'm really happy with this product, and I envision it will make my life with shedding dogs easier. If I were to put together a pros and cons list, it would look something like this. Pros: build quality, scheduling flexibility, a seemingly smart cleaning pattern, and the fact that replacement and maintenance parts are so readily available. The only obvious con I can think of would be the wonky app setup. I felt like it required too much troubleshooting, and one shouldn't have to hit up the forums to perform such a routine task. But once that problem was solved, it's easy to use, works very well, and nicely the battery lasts long enough to clean my entire 1,000-ish square foot bottom floor. So I'd go ahead and recommend it.